Ben ritrovati, siamo ancora sul floor del New York Stock Exchange in compagnia di una vera e propria istituzione proprio qui al New York Stock Exchange. Parliamo di Doreen Mogavero che è fondatrice, presidente e amministratore delegato del floor broker Mogavero Lee. Con Doreen parleremo quest'oggi di economia, non soltanto economia europea ma ovviamente anche economia americana e naturalmente parleremo di quelle che sono le prospettive per il futuro. Welcome Doreen, thank you so much for being with Inside the Exchange.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
So let's start from today. Today we are seeing, the day open higher. Is that just a bounce after yesterday or is it real optimism after the Spanish bond auction?
Well, it may be a little bit of both, but I think, quite frankly, that the market has been very headline-driven for weeks now. I don't think that necessarily these large moves are indicative of bad feelings or good feelings. I think that it's just very much a professional market, very much traders rather than investors and retail clients. So I think that traders tend to push the limits on these things. That's why we see these big swings, you know.
And Europe is still, of course, the center of the attention. What can Europe needs to do, according, to you, to just really put some confidence in this market?
Well, I think we have to see that they have a clear unity together that they're going to solve this problem. I mean, there's been a lot of talk that the best thing to do is to let the countries that are going to fall off. I'm not necessarily in that camp. I don't think so. I would like to see them all come up with a very, very strong unified solution. But the problem seems to me still to be that there seem to be more weaker countries than stronger countries, and that in and of itself can be problematic over time. So it might be a good fix now. Over time, I think they're going to need to come up with a better solution.
And the more they wait and the bigger the impact is going to be on a worldwide economy and United States economy.
Well, I think, as they are the largest second largest consumer bloc after the United States, obviously there's an enormous impact on European spending on companies, both American and European. So I think that's going to take effect. We'll see that reflected in earnings going forward if something happens along those lines. Hopefully, they'll be able to pull it out. Generally, historically, as long as I've been on Wall Street, Europe has been about a year behind the United States, both in good times and in bad times. And I think as we see the United States recovering a little bit slowly, but still moving along pretty well, I think that you might see the Europeans taking a few cues from us and starting to do some, quantitative easing again and things like that that may get them through until they can really figure out where they're going with the entire EU structure.
Going back to United States economy, today on the Wall Street Journal, they summarized the thoughts of a lot of economists that they have actually raised their forecast for the fourth quarter GDP. Could it be just a moment, or are you optimistic about 2012?
Well, I don't know how optimistic I am in terms of us having this robust economy by the end of 2012, but I do think that we are going in the right direction. I think this is going to be a much slower recovery than we've known previously, but nonetheless, I don't see us deteriorating any further. I think we've hit bottom, and now it's just a matter of rebuilding and sort of chugging along to get things going again. I think it's probably another year or so before we really can feel confident that we're totally on the right road and out of the woods. We've got a lot going on in the United States. We have elections to look at. So I think there's a lot of things that need to be clarified first.
And very briefly, 2011, the U.S. equity market. We have only like a couple of weeks to the end of the year. What do you think is going to happen? Can we see a Santa Claus rally, or can we see a big surprise? Can we finish strong?
Well, I don't think you're going to see a big surprise. The one thing you might see is that a lot of traditional managers are very underinvested going into the end of the year. And when managers are underinvested, they tend to like to get some of that money put to work before the end of the quarter. So I think you might see us maintain these levels or go a little bit higher into the end of the year. But I think January, as you know, is the month to watch. And the Santa Claus rally traditionally is really the last 5 days of the year and the first 2 days of the following year. So we have to say, as so goes January, they say so goes the rest of the year. So January is going to be very important to keep an eye on, probably more so than the end of the year.
Great. Doreen Mogavero, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks. Thank you very much.